if you're someone who is planning to build here in Zimbabwe, please don't make the same mistakes that we made trying to build our house right here. So some of the mistakes, they've cost us so much money, and some they've even delayed our building project, and some they've also caused us unnecessary stress. I'm sure some of you have actually noticed. The main reason why I've decided to record this video is to save you from making the same mistakes that we made, and I hope this video is going to be beneficial to many people who are looking forward to building their houses here in Zimbabwe. Hey guys, my name is Tari, and if you're watching me here for the first time, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like, share our videos. Most importantly, to our returning subscribers, you guys, you're really special to me. I appreciate you all for the support. Just coming back to this channel means a lot to me, so I don't take that for granted. Those who have been following me, I'm sure you have noticed that we have been documenting other people's journeys, but most recent episodes, we have been actually documenting our own progress, our own journey when it comes to building. And today I'm not going to be sharing any progress on what is happening on ground, but obviously those episodes, they are going to come. But today I've dedicated this time to assist you guys if you are someone who is going to plan building right here in Zimbabwe. Unfortunately today I'm alone. I'm not with the DJ. He's actually occupied with other things. He's at work. So this is the most important thing that I feel many people who are looking forward to building their houses should do: soil testing. For us, we didn't do soil testing, and this one, it has costed us a lot when it comes to building our project. And this is the number one thing that has also delayed our progress when it comes to building our own house. So at times we take soil testing for granted. We just think, no, my builder can also see what can be done, and we can also think maybe even when you are now on ground you can work magic, something like that. But one thing that I've noticed is soil tests, they are very important. For those who have been watching our videos recently, have seen how stressing it can be when it comes to just being told that there is need for you to do A, B, C, D, something that you had not prepared for or something that you had not planned for. This is the situation where we are into right now, because we avoided doing soil tests. We thought the $300 that we were supposed to part ways with was actually a lot by that time, not knowing that we were going to actually part ways with more money than what we had actually budgeted for the building project. So soil tests, it's a very important stage for you to plan and prepare. Even I have noticed that most of the land that is being sold right here in Zimbabwe, somehow it requires one to have special foundations. I've seen actually many communities, but now the only difference is the kind of special foundation that you have to do. Is it the steel reinforcement kind of a strip foundation like the one that we are doing right now? I'm sure you are going to see when we are doing that stage. Most probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, I'm not sure, but definitely you're going to see the kind of special foundation that we are talking about. Then there's another one that is kind of very expensive, that requires one to have columns, what do you call this, the ground beams, something like that. So if you are going to have the columns and the ground beams, at times it becomes very, very expensive. Looking at how much steel is actually costing, I'm sure when I did also another video previously telling you about the steel that we were told we need for our special foundation, I'm sure you have noticed that it's something that is a lot, especially if it's something that you would not have been prepared for. And this is our case. We are supposed to part ways with over $2,000 for something that we had not actually planned for, because we failed to do soil tests on our part. Soil test is not something that is even expensive. You need somewhere about $300, $400, or even less, now depending with the company that you are going to be working with. The person who actually saved us on that is actually our neighbor, who decided to say, before I start my building, let me just consult a geotechnical company, like those who do the the soil tests. They take the samples, they go with them to the lab, then they tell you the condition of the ground, what you're supposed to do, the kind of structures that you need, the structural drawings that you need for your own foundation. So that person, when he did the soil test, is the one who alarmed us and said, guys, there might be need for a special foundation. I don't know, maybe it's only for my stand, but with how I'm seeing it, a lot of people are going to require that. So because most of the people, we went on ground, we went there and we saw, but the tricky part is the ground. It looked like it's just, what do you call the sand soil. But not knowing that that sand soil was going to cost us, because, you know, most people, they just think when it's clay soil, that's when you need a special foundation. When it's a wetland, that's when you need a special foundation. When it's sand soil, it's okay, because you just have to go down and maybe have the firm ground. When you reach to the firm ground, then you start your building. But in our case, that's not the case. Our inspector actually said there is need for steel. So yeah, if you are not really careful, it's going to cost you a lot. Just a quick one, if you're someone who is planning to build here in Zimbabwe, you don't have anyone who can oversee your project, someone who can manage your project while you are away from home. Based on the experience that I now have in the industry, I've done tours looking at other people's projects. I visited many people's projects. I've also interviewed many service providers, many contractors. Now I have an idea of what it really means when it comes to building a house. And as I'm also documenting my own building journey, it's also a sign that maybe you can see that this person is capable. Yes, I'm capable. I can actually manage a project. I can help you with contractors. And the good news is we now have Tari construction and project management company. So if you're someone who is looking for someone who can do those services for you, I'm the go-to person. I'm going to leave my contact details. The first comment that you're going to see in the comment section, the pinned comment, that's where my details are. Don't hesitate to contact me anytime for those services. So like I said, soil tests might be expensive today. Like I said, you need to part ways with around $300. But if you don't do them, and now you need to do a special foundation like what we are doing, or like what we are doing right now, now you need to part ways with around $2,000. So maybe if we had done that part before, it was going to save us when it comes to the delays that I actually mentioned. Yes, maybe I could have said, no, I don't want this tent. I look for somewhere else where there's no need for me to do the special foundation. Or maybe I just say, okay, I'm interested in buying this land. But now when I start my building project, I actually know there's a budget for special foundation. But if you're not planned for that, then it becomes a challenge, like what is happening right now. So yeah, you need to be prepared. You do need to have soil tests before buying land. Most important thing, especially for those who are also looking forward to buying land in Zimbabwe right now, or maybe anyway, I've noticed that the channel is growing. We are actually attracting other people from other countries. So because of that, if you are someone who is wherever you are and you are planning to build, the best thing that you have to do is not to buy land at a later stage, when the developer is actually at later stages when it comes to servicing the area. This is the mistake that we made, and I'm sure I've mentioned this over and over again, because it was now expensive when we bought this piece of land. It's a 349 square meter stand, and I'll always mention this, and the floor area of this house is 198 square meters. We are leaving about 4 meters at the front, and we are leaving about 2 meters at the back, 1.5 each side. So that's how our stand looks like. So when the developer started selling these stands, they were going for around $40, and there are so many people who bought at that particular stage. But you know, when the area is starting to be developed, many people, there will be in fear of buying land at that particular time. Some, they feel like, is the developer going to deliver what they promised? Is the developer going to do A, B, C, D? So because of that fear that many people will be having, that's why the developer sells the stands at that price, because many people will be just feeling like it's a risk. So when there are now roads, when there is now sewer, they've done what do you call this? They've done the drainage systems. They've done almost everything when it comes to servicing. Then the price, it goes up. So I think that's the stage when we bought our piece of land. We bought the land when it was now on $70 per square meter. So for us, it was kind of expensive, also considering that we actually went there to view the stands when it was still on around $40 per square meter. But when it comes to the decision, we made the decision to buy when it was now on $70 per square meter. And the main reason why we then bought those stands is because we had seen the developments, how they have done, how they had done the servicing in the area, and we just said, no, this is the deal. But it was expensive. Maybe if we had just bought the stands when they were still at $40 per square meter, we could have actually saved a lot of money. I think I just have to mention this. When now the compliance is out, like what happened to where we are buying the stand, where we bought our stand, Spitco Park. Now that the compliance is out, the stands, the price are now up. The land has appreciated value. So when we bought at $70, we were actually some of the few people to buy, and I think they had said this is the last price for now. Now the compliance is out, the stands, they are now on $100 per square meter. So some who are now buying them right now, they are now buying them at a bit higher, at a higher price. So it's not something that you actually have to do, especially if you have done your research on the developer, you know what they are capable of doing, and you have seen some of the developments that they have made, and you are really sure this is what you want. I think the best is to buy when the development is still on its early stages. Don't make the same mistake, because it's going to save you a lot of money. I'm sure you can just do the quick mathematics, how much we could have saved if we had bought at $40 per square meter. Remember, the developer promised tarred roads, sewer, water reticulation, commercial boreholes. But when it comes to the water reticulation and commercial boreholes, unfortunately, we can't use that at this particular time, because it's still work in progress. They're still working on that. For the commercial boreholes, they're working on the water reservoirs. So when they are done, I'm sure we'll have water. But for now, when it comes to building, we just have to buy the water. So yeah, also it's a gated community. Remember, they also promised gas reticulation. So it's actually a lot. They also promised electricity. They also promised solar street lights. But with how the community is shaping, we are seeing that we are in the rightful direction, and I highly recommend our developers so much. To anyone who might want to buy a stand, don't hesitate to get in touch with the Lingate sales team. They will help you when it comes to buying land, or they will tell you about all their developments that they are doing currently. They have other ones in Do Not Touch, Tungiza, Kwekwe. Yet there's a project that is a gated community as well next to MSU campus. It might be a good investment actually. They have the Mashingo, the Victoria Range project. They have the Kadoma, and in Kadoma they have railway meadows, and they also have the agro residential plots, which are going for $2.50 per square meter. You know, when it comes to agro residential, obvious, the land size, it starts from 1 hectare going upwards. So you can just do the quick calculations. You can see that the land is quite affordable. Other thing that I want to talk about right now is the issue of planning. This is the mistake that we made. We didn't plan ahead. We didn't plan properly, and it has costed us so much time when it comes to starting the building project. It has costed us a lot of things. And when it comes to planning, what I'm saying, planning, it starts from planning your own structure, planning the kind of house that you need, planning where A, B, C, D should be, planning what you really want or what you really want to see in your house, on your house, whatever. So in this case, what I want to start by mentioning is the issue to do with the plan. The developer had mentioned that they are going to be giving us the pre-approved plans. So by the pre-approved plans, it was more like a shell that they give you, and you just make the amendments that you want. You know what you want with your house, you adjust everything. They'd given us the privilege to do that. But on our part, I think we didn't plan well, because I think we could have done maybe a just rough planning of the house that we want, just to say the dream house that we want should look like this. We didn't do that. We were just relying on the plans from the developer. So we thought with the plans from the developer, maybe everything will be just okay. We can just use that. But the developer now then said, no, you can't just use this. You can make adjustments. And after you make the adjustments, then if you are happy, we can move on to the next stage. So we visited our architecture, I think, at the early stages, when we actually bought the stand, and we now at that particular time, we were almost done with the payment of the stand. Then we visited them, we did some adjustments, but we were not really satisfied with what we had agreed with the architecture. We needed some time to look at the plan again and see if everything is okay with us. And the time that we visited the architecture, for the first time, the plans, they were still at $2 per square meter. Remember, our floor area is 198 square meters. So it was $2 per square meter, and I'm sure if you do the mathematics, you can see it was quite affordable by that time. Then we came back, we forgot about that plan. We didn't do anything. We didn't look at it. We didn't make any adjustments. We didn't do anything. Then I think there was now this other time when we mentioned, when we did a video telling you guys about our plan and everything, that's when we decided to come back to the plan. So yeah, with the help of many who are here on this platform, you gave us your ideas, you gave us your input, and we actually noticed some of the other things that we needed to do on that plan. But mind you, when you gave us that feedback, I think personal time, in no time, we received a message from the developer saying, there's now a new SI, so the architecture that we're using, it's beyond their control. We have to do like additional payments from $2. We now have to pay about $4 per square meter. So you see lack of planning, what it did to us. Instead of paying $2, maybe the first time that we went to see our architecture, we could have done everything, finalized everything, paid the $2 per square meter, and that's it. But because of that delay, we had to pay $4 per square meter. And for us, it was a bit on the high, because we ended up paying around 790 something, 792 if I'm not mistaken. But the amount, it was around that. I'm sure I've mentioned, this is just for the drawings, the architectural designs and everything. But one thing that I also loved, they tried by all means to make it a bit easier on our part. The developer then agreed with the architecture to say, since it's now on $4 per square meter, it's the SIS, but can you just do something for them, for everyone, like those who have got stands, you just do the plan of the boundary wall for them for free. So yeah, it was also another bonus. So everyone had the plan for the house and also the boundary wall at that amount, $4 per square meter. So it was kind of a good thing. though we could have saved a lot, because even those who paid $2 per square meter, they also got the boundary wall drawings at that amount. So yeah, planning ahead is very, very important. And because we made delays also finalizing on our plan, it was now more on the high side, because we had to make everything done at once. We pay the $792 for the plan. We go to the Zimba RDC to pay for the rates. The rates, remember I said it was $240 per year. We completed paying the payment of our stand last year. So it was the rates for last year and for this year. That last year, that's when we signed the agreement of sale. So they calculate from the time when you signed the agreement of sale. So it was for last year and also for this year. So for that amount, 240 plus 240, that was 480 for the rates. And also I think around 400 and something US dollars for the $472 for the $472 it was for the approval of the plan. We had to pay that, and this is the amount that we had to pay within a very short space of time. So at times, if you are not prepared financially, it's going to cost you a lot and you will be stressed, like, I don't know. Then we also had to pay $81 for the opening of our accounts there. And remember, we had to travel to Zimba RDC because the compliance was already out and we wanted to start our building project as soon as possible. Remember, we are working with the time that we were given with our landlord, 2 years maximum staying here. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot. So yeah, lack of planning, it makes everything a bit complicated. It makes everything look expensive. But these are amounts that maybe if we had planned, we're not going to part ways with money at a very, very, very short space of time. So some of the costs that we actually underestimated are some of the costs when it comes to labor. So I've listed them down. So it's labor, transport, the temporary toilet, the temporary structure like the cabin, water, site clearing, security, then the price increase, then some small purchases that actually adds up to your actual bill. So for labor, everything that you are doing, whether you call someone to say, can you come and do ABCD here, that person is going to require a certain amount, whether it's a $10, whether it's a $20, whether it's $30. Everything requires you to part ways with your money, especially when you are building. So these are some of the things that we actually underestimated, and some of the fees we thought they will be doable, but when you're actually on ground, you see the monies that people will be telling you or talking about, yeah, it's just too much. Then for transport, everything that you are going to be transporting from point A to point B, there is need for transport that is suitable for carrying that. Then water, like I said, water for us right now, it's actually a challenge. They are still working on the water reservoirs. They are still working on the, they have done the connections for the water, but for now we can't use the water because it's actually a lot that they are doing there. It's work in progress. So we underestimated the need of water, the amount of water that we'll need when we start our building project. And there's someone who offered to kuticherera mgodi, a well, but right now I'm waiting for the feedback from our developer to see if it's allowed to do that or it's not. But thank you so much once again for the offer. We really appreciate. I'm sure it's going to go a long way in assisting us when it comes to building our house. And our neighbor also offered us to say, Tari, if you need water, that person drew the bore. So she said, here and husband, they say, Tari, if you need water anytime, you can go. You can just make a plan to see if it can be delivered to your stand, because she's some stands away from ours. So thank you so much, guys. You are special to me. I really appreciate that offer. It means a lot to us. Then security. For security, we underestimated, but thank God our builder offered to give us someone who will be staying on site, monitoring everything that will be happening, to see everything. And that's what they do. I think most builders, that's what they do. Then price increase. Yeah, we underestimated that, because the first people who started building, they were buying cement at $13 and some they were buying at $12 something. But now it's on $13.30, $13.40 and $13.50. So we underestimated that, and now we are going to be parting ways with more money when it comes to buying our building material because of that. So if you plan, we just go back to the issue of planning. If you plan your things well, you are not going to go through everything that I'm mentioning right now. So now I know what needs to be done, and nothing like that is going ever to happen. Remember, you heard the DJ saying, on our next project, we are going to make sure. And thank you so much for those who are actually trusting me with their projects right now. I've got a number of projects that I'm also working on. At times you might just see me not being able to respond, especially on WhatsApp, and at times you might not be able to see me doing videos here and there because of those management projects that I'm doing. But thank you so much. It's all because of the support that you are giving me, guys, and I don't take that for granted. Then like last but not least, the small purchases that add up. You buy maybe something today, it's just a small thing, you just say, it's little money. You buy another thing tomorrow, you just think, it's a little money. Because one thing that I've noticed, people, they've got a tendency of just doing calculations on bigger purchases but forgetting about these small purchases. But when you do them adding up of all those monies, you see, it's a lot. It might be over $1,000 if you're not careful. So I've also written down something that I feel is very, very important. And if you've got somewhere to write down, please write this down, because it's going to help you a lot. This is a quick bonus lesson from our own experience so far. The first thing is, remember to visit your site often. Because as you'll be visiting, you actually notice some of the things. Visit, whether it's in the rain season, you see if it's a wetland, you visit, you just go there, just see what's happening. It also helps you a lot to not make some of the mistakes that we have made on our own. Then this is the most important thing: keep extra money for emergencies. Yeah, I think that's one thing that we have actually helped us on this. If we had not maybe saved something, it was going to, I don't know how to say this, but it was going to be a bit difficult on our part, especially when we were told that we need some kind of special foundation. If we had not put aside some money to say this is just for emergencies, we were going to, it was going to be a lot. Maybe we could have just said, no, we can't continue because we no longer have the money. So I think that is also something that is really, really important. Then ask experienced builders questions. For the issue Emma builders, I think that is one thing that has also served us. We have been asking builders, and some of them have been coming with them here, interviewing them. So it's very, very important. You ask them questions, know them better, understand them better, see their projects. And one thing that I love, the builder that we are currently working with, I know his work. I've visited several places where he has been building, and we were satisfied with the work that he do, and we also love his personality. Second thing, get multiple quotations from different companies, from different people. If you're also building, when you have got a group, maybe especially if it's a new development like ours, we've got a group where people, they ask each other, where did you get this, where did you get that, something like that. So if you've got a platform like that, also ask for other people where they bought in whatever that you need. Then if you get that information, it's also going to help you to see if you are being overcharged or if you are being undercharged. Yeah, it gives you an idea of what's happening in the market, and it also helps you to know where to negotiate and where not to, something like that. Yeah, so that's one thing that we have also been doing, and it has been helping us a lot, and we are truly grateful for that. Then document agreements. If there's an agreement that you're going to be making with any contractor, document that. One thing that we are doing, we are actually making like contract forms, especially where I'm working as a project manager. I draft a contract form, I send to the client, they go through that contract form and they see if it's something that we can do in our partnership or something like that. Then it also helps not to just agree on something verbally. When you have got something written down, you can always go back to that thing and say, but on this day we agreed on A, B, C, D. You didn't deliver. On this day we agreed on what, but you did your own way, something like that. So having written agreements is the best way to go, especially when you are building here in Zimbabwe. Even though we have made some mistakes when it comes to building our house, from buying land to where we are, we don't even regret starting this building project. It has taught us a lot. We have learned so much, and we are actually grateful for the lessons that we have learned. And those mistakes, they have also shaped me to be the person I am today. Now we have got Tari construction and project management. It's all because of some of the things that we have seen, some of the things that we have also learned from other people we have been building, and some of the things that we have seen people making mistakes on their own building projects as well. So it's something that I'm really grateful for. It's a journey, remember, when you are building. So if you're someone who has built before, maybe you can just also help us to know some of the mistakes that you have made building your own project, and what you would also advise someone who's going to be starting building here in Zimbabwe or wherever they are, so that they also avoid making the same mistakes. Guys, you're really special to me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to get hold of me, if you want to get in touch with me, get in touch with me on +263 772 107 612. I will say it again, +263 772 107 612. Tari construction and project management. Up until next time, cheers.